And hello, everybody. Welcome back to episode number 107 of the CheckX series. If you're new here, as I say every day, the CheckX series is pretty much all about me, your host Ivan, talking about everything and discussing everything that Elon talks about on X the day before. Today, we're going to discuss what he talked about yesterday on Thursday, March 19th, 2026. He posted about 58 times, almost in the 60 range. Yesterday, but we're pretty much just gonna get right into this. Just not keep this intro rolling too long, as we usually do, talking about Tesla AI hardware and chip manufacturing. To start off the episode and the segment, Elon highlighted Terafab as an essential vertical integration for Tesla, aimed at overhauling clean room models to make chip manufacturing radically cheaper and faster. Elon also noted that Tesla requires 100 to 200 billion AI chips annually to support its roadmap for FSD, Optimus, and orbital data centers. Moving on to AI chips, talking about AI5, AI6, and AI7. Starting off, Elon detailed that AI5 uses a half reticle design to double yield its optimized and is optimized for edge compute in Optimus and robotaxis. Elon also predicted that AI6 might tape out, which design finalized, by the way, already, or he means tape out. He means by that the design will be finalized by December 2026 and could potentially match the performance of a dual AI5 system. Which is pretty interesting. Also, talking about NVIDIA partnerships, despite Tesla's internal chip development, Elon stated that Tesla and SpaceX will continue to order NVIDIA chips at scale, expressing the high regard for Jensen Huang. Last but not least, Elon mentioned that Tesla AI has been generating physics-accurate real-time video for self-driving training for a long time. Though the compute required, is currently too expensive for consumer use. Moving on to autonomy and robotics, just two things to talk about here and to add on. But to start off the segment, Elon encouraged users to try FSD, citing data that it is 9 times safer than the U.S. driving average. And Elon also confirmed that FSD version 14.3 is currently in testing and expected for wide release in a few weeks. Last but not least, talking about Optimus, Elon reposted insights regarding the hierarchical decision-making architecture of Optimus, which is designed to similarly to FSD, to handle real-time decisions across a continuous space of actions. And moving on to SpaceX and space exploration, really short segment there, but to start off the segment, Elon asserted that SpaceX will eventually deliver millions of tons of payload to the moon and Mars to build self-sustaining cities. Elon also expressed support for a mass driver on the moon to utilize local materials. Also, Elon noted a proposal for Starship to take a pivotal role in NASA's moon missions, potentially replacing Boeing's Space Launch System for certain stages of the journey. Elon also emphasized that making reusability useful is the key achievement of SpaceX, noting that Falcon 9 flew more in 2025 than the Space Shuttle did in its entire 30-year history. And last but not least, Elon shared that Starlink has now over 10,000 satellites and works even in extreme conditions like Arctic winters, which is pretty interesting. Moving on to artificial intelligence predictions and tools, just 3 things to talk about here. One of them is kind of along with Grok, but to start off this segment, Elon predicted that Google will win the AI race in the West, China will win on Earth, and SpaceX will win in space. I guess ironically. But moving on, Elon also discussed new features for Grok, including the ability to perform business bookkeeping and tax analysis, while with file output capabilities arriving next week. Elon also shared Grok's analysis of little red dots captured by the James Webb Space Telescope, while Grok identified as direct collapse black holes. Last but not least, Elon predicted that AI coding models will surpass most human coders by the end of 2026. And moving on to energy and global infrastructure, starting off this segment, Elon responded to news of missile attacks on Qatar's gas infrastructure, calling this situation yikes and dangerous times. Also, Elon noted the critical impact of a global helium storage caused by the Qatar disruption on the production of AI hardware, MRI machines, and rockets. Last but not least, Elon reiterated that solar, batteries, and electric vehicles are the future of energy. onto SpaceX platform, X platform in media. Pretty much before we wrap up the episode here, starting off, Elon engaged with users regarding the X algorithm, asking for specific feedback on what needs to be improved and acknowledging the frustration with AI bots. Last but not least for the episode, Elon labeled Jon Stewart a skilled propagandist while also acknowledging his talent as a comedian. And ladies and gentlemen, that pretty much wraps up episode number 106. Yeah, of the CheckX series. I believe 10, maybe even 107. I'm sorry if I forgot. But yeah, that pretty much wraps up this episode. I recommend dropping a like, commenting, and subscribing if you haven't already. If you guys made it to the end, appreciate you guys for watching. Recommend going back and watching some of the other recent CheckX episodes if you would like to get a nice little sequence of events going for you. But yeah, that pretty much wraps up this episode, and I'll see you guys later.